Moving on to contract forms. It will include the grant terms and conditions, certification and signatures page, and then the grant disclosure form. And you'll find those at the bottom of the GOHS forms menu. Certification and signature. Yeah, we'll be able to get to that here shortly, but that's going to be a signed document, and it has to be signed by the authorized official, the agency administrator, and the agency staff. And that document has to be mailed to GOHS with the original signatures on it. So, and that is due March 25th. Now, don't get the due dates mixed up. Just kind of jot down March 25th, because we're going to be giving you another one here in a minute. All right, the signatures. The authorized official is generally the highest elected official with the agency. The agency administrator, again, remember when we talked in the beginning about who's going to be in charge of the grant, the project, and so forth, that's generally the agency administrator. And then the agency staff is generally the financial contact. So this is how the certification and signature form will look. And again, you'll see the signature spots there. There's our address. It needs to be mailed to us. And again, March 25th, just jot that date down. Okay, so the review process. Applications are submitted by Friday, February 28th by 11:59 p.m. So that is the due date that the application must be submitted in EGOHS, February 28th. Now the March date is when that signed certification has to be to GOHS. So there's 2 dates here. If by chance you are on this call and you are submitting a renewal application, you should have received a renewal letter in the mail from GOHS, and your due date is different than the new applications. So if you have a question on that, please reach out to us. Your due date is coming up pretty soon. Okay, so once we get applications in, they will be assigned to a review team at GOHS, and it will move through the review process. If by chance your application needs some modifications, the lead reviewer will be in touch with you, and we'll have to send the applications back. If you get your application back, it should be corrected and submitted within 3 days. So don't delay on getting it back to us. If it's approved, your application will be awarded prior to October 1st. Just some important things. Don't make any purchases prior to receiving an award letter and prior to October 1st. Any purchases you make will not be reimbursed by GOHS. So we've had this come up before where somebody has submitted their application about this time, and then sometime over the summer, maybe June or July, they have gone back and they have made their purchase for the items they put in their grant. Once the grant gets awarded, they submit their invoice for that item with a June invoice date, and GOHS did not reimburse for those items. So just make sure that you wait until after an award letter is received and no sooner than October 1st. All grants are reimbursable, which means that you have to make the purchase first, and then GOHS reimburses. If you have any items in your budget that are $5,000 or more, Magina mentioned that it will need NHTSA approval, which GOHS will take care of that approval for you. But we also need your procurement policy attached to the application. So make sure you attach that into the attachments section. And then the unit price of a single item, again, does include shipping, handling, and taxes. Okay, the due date, February 28th. Okay, that is for this application. Has to be submitted in EGOS.
Scarlett,
Okay.
we have 2 questions.
Okay.
One is, can a community SAD chapter apply for funding?
I'm probably going to need more information. I'm going to say yes. In general. I'm trying to, is it like a multiple schools project? If it is, then it will need to be submitted as a general application. If it's a single school, then we can probably do it under the SAD programming.
Your question? Okay, since there's, we have another question. Is the small grant available also?
Small grants such as, I think the question's already moved off my list here.
Craig, can you elaborate, please, and unmute yourself? Or if you can't unmute yourself, if you could, he says for equipment.
Well, we don't do equipment grants. We do projects focused on a problem. If the way to correct the problem is to purchase equipment and have enforcement hours, then yes, I'm thinking you're probably talking about the high visibility enforcement grants. Roger, do you want to talk on that for a minute?
I can, Scarlett. So in the past, some of the folks may remember that in the past we did do small agency grants that provided equipment. That is no longer allowable under NHTSA rules. Now they are performance-based grants. We call them high visibility enforcement grants that ties the problem, the needed equipment, and the enforcement section in all together. So in order to be awarded funds for any type of equipment, you must do enforcement and have an enforcement plan to specifically address a problem.
Perfectly said. Thank you.
And what is the submission date for renewals?
January 21st.
And Scarlett, if I may, just to help the law enforcement agencies just a little bit. So you've seen 2 different things as far as salaries and the budget. For any high visibility enforcement grant, what you will be doing, the box that you will be looking at is your enforcement / activity hours. You will not have to do the first 3, the personnel services details. We don't do personnel services detail. Personnel services do the salary and benefits and all that. We only do the enforcement and activity hours. So you can just leave those blank in your application if you're a law enforcement agency.